Michelle and I are back with another episode of Death Valley Discoveries. We are back in the Owlsheads, one of my favorite places to hike. And today we're going to be hiking out to Smoke Tree Canyon, which is different from the Smoke Tree Slots, although in close vicinity. So I'll be talking about that a bit today as we begin the long hike out to the beginning of the canyon, about 4 miles. But first, let me take a moment and introduce a couple of our friends that we're going to be hiking with today, Gia and Andrew.
Hi, I'm Gia.
And I'm Andrew.
Yeah, and we've lived here in Death Valley for a long time, but never been out to the Owlshead, so this is pretty exciting for us.
We have arrived here at the mouth of Smoke Tree Canyon. Now the approach, as you saw, was very flat, but also very long. It's actually a 4-mile approach from the parking area to get to Smoke Tree Canyon. You can see right behind me one of the taller ones here. We've already passed, I'm estimating, about 500 young smoke trees. And what that tells me is that their range may be expanding slightly, because down the wash that we hiked up, there was all baby smoke trees. So they seem to be expanding the area that they're growing. Now, Smoke Tree Canyon was discovered by a couple friends of mine, so it's not a personal discovery, although I was the first to ever document this place and share information about it with everybody. And one thing to keep in mind is that Smoke Tree Canyon and the Smoke Tree Slots are two different areas. So this is a canyon that actually cuts deep into the range. We're going to hike up it and then do a crossover and come back down South Smoke Tree Canyon. So look forward to sharing this spectacular place with you, just filled with hundreds, if not thousands, of smoke trees. This is what the area looks like here at the mouth of Smoke Tree Canyon, as the canyon has just taken shape. And notice what I was talking about. Just baby smoke trees everywhere here in the wash. We've got a really healthy population of smoke trees growing here, taking root and sprouting up. And then larger one right there. As you can see right here, truly gorgeous decomposed granite walls right from the start in the canyon. This is a truly magnificent canyon. And this is the view looking back out the mouth of the canyon. 4 miles out across there is Harry Wade Road, where we parked. And the terrain coming up was quite easy. We got into the canyon very easily and quickly, our whole group. So Gia, this is your first time seeing smoke trees. What do you think, or what's your initial impressions?
They're weird, but they're cool. Yeah, I think, yeah, have never seen them before in Death Valley. I think you said that this was the only spot that they're in. But yeah, very unique, very cool.
Yeah, really neat. And Gia actually made me think of something that I failed to mention, and that's that this little region of the Owlsheads is the only place in Death Valley where you can see smoke trees. So the next canyon north of here is Through Canyon, and the park's website once said that it has the only stand of smoke trees in the entire park. So that was the thinking back then. because that's a named canyon and that's where people would occasionally hike. But then a couple hikers came through here and discovered literally thousands of more smoke trees than are in through canyon, which I think contains less than 20 smoke trees in that canyon. And here we've already probably seen 1,000. So yeah, this canyon's well named. And then the smoke trees continue south just a little bit and then they stop. So that's what makes this place so special. Taking a closer look at some of these canyon walls, there's some nice small arches that are formed here. Look at this one. Look at this epic canyon wall here. Really cool. Look at all the boulders here. Very typical for a canyon in the Owlsheads. Have so many giant boulders that roll down into the wash. Look at these. Again, very common here. Decomposed granite boulders. Another really cool narrow section right here. Look at these walls. Show you all the way around right here. Really neat walking through here. Some really cool sharp angles here on these rocks. Look at the size of this boulder. I don't know if you could even call it that. Really nice section of canyon. Really impressed with Smoke Tree Canyon. Only been here once in my life, but it has such nice narrows. Also just seeing so many tortoise burrows everywhere. Tortoises are very active here in Smoke Tree Canyon. Here's the view looking back down canyon. One thing about Smoke Tree Canyon, it does have a fairly steep grade, but the terrain is easy regardless. I actually learned something new about smoke trees last night. Michelle found some information that mentioned that smoke trees bloom and have some really pretty vibrant colors, and that is in the month of April or May. So I don't think anyone's ever captured a smoke tree here in Death Valley, a picture of one in bloom. So I was thinking it'd be neat to hike through this canyon maybe mid-April or early May, assuming it's not too hot. It's hard to know here in Death Valley exactly when they would bloom, but if you were in here at the right time, it would be amazing, just with hundreds or thousands of smoke trees, to see the taller ones in bloom. Let's take a closer look at some of the leaves or needles of the smoke tree. Probably get a bit out of focus, but you can see the sharp sticks or pointy ends. The tree definitely protects itself quite well. It's a smaller smoke tree right here, but you can see the trunk quite well and the branches. Right down to the ground there. Must have seen about 30 tortoise burrows so far. A lot of them active. See, this dirt has been disturbed not too long ago. And tortoise is in there sleeping. Here's a larger tree. Take another look here at the trunk. And right next to the tree, we've got a tortoise burrow. We're about halfway up Smoke Tree Canyon. You can see it's opened up quite a bit. Hillside on the left. Hillside on the right. Passing by some impressive rock pinnacles sticking up above the canyon. Passing by some awesome looking hillsides. Look how this just looks so rounded, and all the boulders as well. Just precariously resting up there. Right here as well, you have the closer canyon walls, so to speak. And then those background cliffs. What an impressive area. We've got a December bloom right here. Check out the wide open upper canyon. So we get a little bit further up ahead, so you can see that distant hillside. It's really going to open up even more. Right now we still have some well-established canyon walls here. This hike is going really well up Smoke Tree Canyon, making incredible time. This whole hike that we're doing today is about 14 miles round trip, but with the terrain being so easy, you can see the ground right there. That's walking on decomposed granite, sand or pebbles, so to speak. Just really nice walking heading up canyon here. And the lower canyon, of course, has some gorgeous narrows and just gradually opens up as we get further up the canyon. Some really beautiful scenery right here. We got a smoke tree, and then look at that triangular background peak. And then just looking over this way, another nice looking mountainside with these giant boulders down below it. Really cool spot here. Earlier I was talking about the blooms of the smoke tree, and check out these remnants of the purple flowers from the most recent bloom. First time I've seen this on a smoke tree. Here is one last look at Smoke Tree Canyon, looking down the wide open upper canyon, and off to the north. Through Canyon is that way, but here you can see the canyon keeps going, but it's very wide. Eventually it no doubt goes through to the other side of the range, but we're actually going to turn off and go in this direction now and do a crossover to South Smoke Tree Canyon. Right here we've dropped into our crossover gully or wash, and we're just going to follow this up for a ways. This is probably one of the easier crossovers between canyons that you'll find, not only in the Owlsheads but the entire park. So not expecting too much of a challenge here. coming up on the pass here. Very short crossover with just a steep part there at the end. Just slightly hard. And here's our first view down the other side. We have started down the crossover on the other side. It was a very short hike up to the pass, just a tiny bit of scrambling at the end. And now we're doing the harder part, which is going down the other side, because there's more distance to cover since South Smoke Tree Canyon is lower. It's situated lower than the main canyon, than Smoke Tree Canyon. So we got to drop down quite a bit of elevation here, but look at this view. This is where we're heading down into this. You can see a nice wash below, but hillsides covered with decomposed granite as far as we can see. Another huge pile of boulders right here. Look at all of these. Just below here is a nice looking wash. So we just got to scramble down to it. Really cool find here in the crossover wash between the two canyons. Some coyote gourds or melons. Quite a few right here. And what's interesting about finding these in here, it's not like these are not common, but all my hiking in the Owlsheads, I don't think I've ever come across these coyote gourds. So real surprising to me to just see them right here in the wash. But yeah, neat find here. As you can see, the crossover wash is loaded with smoke trees. Just everywhere through here. I really cannot believe what a beautiful day it is out here in the Owlsheads. It is December 20th and I've got t-shirt weather. Just so nice and beautiful outside. Sunny, hardly any wind, and feels great out. Some nice rocky hillsides here, still in the crossover wash. Been really easy going. We're just about to complete this crossover into South Smoke Tree Canyon. That's the main wash down below. So you can see our group just doing the final part of the crossover wash here. This is our first view into South Smoke Tree Canyon. Looking to the upper canyon. Right up here, the canyon splits into two forks. Can't really see it because it's blocked by these smoke trees. But it's right here. That's the left fork right there. And the right fork goes that way. And as you can see, the first thing we noticed just how many smoke trees are here. South Smoke Tree Canyon is said to have more smoke trees than Smoke Tree Canyon. Yeah, the smoke trees are just everywhere. totally covering this wide wash. This boulder in the wash kind of stands out right in the middle of the wash. South Smoke Tree Canyon is, as I think I mentioned, a lot wider than the main Smoke Tree Canyon, but it's a different type of scenery here. It's like wide open, you can see everything all around, the hillsides, but with that wider wash there's more smoke trees, more space to cover through here. But most of the really good scenery is over in Smoke Tree Canyon. But having South Smoke Tree Canyon just to the south with that easy crossover, at least what I consider to be easy, makes for a great kind of introductory loop. It's kind of like the easiest loop, I think, between canyons and the Owlsheads, to go from Smoke Tree Canyon over to South Smoke Tree Canyon. So maybe perhaps the through granite loop is a little bit easier. But yeah, this is such a great hike. If you just look down at the wash that we're walking through, there's literally hundreds of baby smoke trees sprouting up. And then larger ones all around. Passing by a real nice hillside here on the right, heading down canyon. Looking ahead, that is the mouth of South Smoke Tree Canyon. Just a very wide, easy walk down this canyon. But instead of exiting the canyon, we're going to do a little side trip here. See something very special. And so we've got to turn out of this canyon and climb up to this little ridge right here. So hopefully that won't be too hard. But we need to get into the next little small canyon drainage just above this ridge right here. Here's the view looking down at the canyon as we're climbing out. And here's that ridge, and we're going to drop into a drainage here and work our way through this. And we've just entered a drainage, a wash here, after crossing over this ridge. Right over that ridge is South Smoke Tree Canyon, the bottom portion of it. But we're going to do this little side trip, so we jumped over it into this wash. A canyon is kind of taking shape through here. And we got a little bit of a dry fall. Any guesses as to where I am right now? This is actually Smoke Tree slot number 1. We crossed over from South Smoke Tree Canyon to get here. And I'm not actually going to showcase this very much because this was part of my very first Death Valley Discoveries video. And that was the Smoke Tree slots. So that very first video went to Smoke Tree slot number 1, number 2, and number 3. As well as Lower Great Dry Fall Canyon. So if you want to check that out, make sure to watch that video. But for this video, we kind of just crossed over because I wanted to share this amazing spot with my friends. And What a privilege to be walking through here now for my third time, I think it is. Yeah, to be here at the smoke tree slot number 1 for my third time. And I should add, I consider smoke tree slot number 1 to be my most significant and special discovery, or we could say co-discovery, along with my friends Charlie and Tobin here in the Owlshead Mountains. This is such a special place. Let's go see what the others thought of this. All right, so we all just came back out of smoke tree slot number 1 after going through it and getting some real nice pictures. I'll share a couple of those with you. But Gia,
Yeah.
what did you think of smoke tree slot number 1?
I thought it was pretty cool. Definitely unlike any other slots that I've hiked in here in Death Valley. Left me speechless.
So we'll leave you with that, and that will wrap up this video. We're gonna hike a little over 4 miles to get back to our vehicle, and catch you later.